It is really my distinct honor to bring up the reason why we're here. She started this. Well, Gunther, you started it by planting your sign on your front lawn. But she had the gumption to stop and find out, what is that sign about? And it just spiraled out of control in a good way to the point where we're at here tonight. I want to thank each and every one of you. Give yourselves a big round of applause. And thank you for standing up for both the city and the county. Please welcome to the stage somebody who's no stranger to social services, the vulnerable, the poor, the needy in our community. She's got a pedigree that will outdo anybody's. Ronna Warsh, our former Executive Director of Social Services at the City of Windsor.
Thank you to each and every one of you for coming. And I just want to reflect on what people told you tonight. People came and told their stories from their heart, and that's not easy to do, especially when you're not well or you have a loved one who's not well. And so we heard from 3 people, Diane didn't mention it, who are all driving from their homes into the 2 different hospitals, and that is extremely taxing, especially for people who live in Leamington, etc., like Dennis does. So I also, and I don't want to talk about it, I'm not going to talk about it, that's not my job, but one of the reasons that I started this group and that I stopped at my former physics teacher's house, I didn't do well in physics, but he welcomed me anyway. One of the reasons I did that is that I had, as a family member, the sad experience of following an ambulance to a hospital. And I spent not nearly as long as you spent in a hospital, but I spent long enough. And I know that that is a very traumatic experience for people, and people from the county and the city deserve the best. The other reason that I decided to bring this group together is because I worked for 30 years in government, both at the provincial and at the municipal level. And I know that the power is not with the politicians. The power is with the people. And you are the people. We are the people. So what you're doing by being here and giving 2 hours of your time tonight is going to change the conversation and make a difference. And so from the bottom of my heart and the bottom of my committee's heart, I want to thank each and every one for your support and your dedication. We have really outdone ourselves. I always admired grassroots groups, but because of my position, I was never able to really be a part of a grassroots group. And this group that was introduced to you at the beginning is I'm privileged to be a part of it. Brian as chair, I started out as chair and realized I was too busy and handed over the chair to Brian. Brian has done an amazing job. Each and every person on this committee took money out of their own pockets. We had no money. We sat at my kitchen table and they took money out of their pockets to start this initiative. And then other sponsors that are listed on the back, and I urge you to look at that, came forward to help us. So I am forever grateful to this committee, to Brian, Joe for your leadership, and I really want to thank even my physics teacher, Gunther, for all of the work that we've done. So what can you do now? This is coming to an end, and I know that we're going to get great media exposure in the next few days. And what I know, and I have colleagues here that work with me at the province and at the municipal level, is that this rally will get heard in Queen's Park. The Ministry of Health will find out that you are in this room and that there are hundreds of people that support this hospital at this new location. We had people on this committee going door to door with postcards. And if you did not sign a postcard, please sign them on the way out. Gunther will make sure that you sign the postcards. We have boxes and boxes of signed postcards, and we have a petition with thousands of names on it that my dear friends, and I want to call them friends now, people I didn't know very well, on the committee, 4 of the committee members are going to get in a car and they're going to drive the postcards personally to Toronto. We're going to have a little help. We're hoping for a little help politically with that initiative, but those postcards will go directly to the Minister of Health's office, and the Premier will find out about this event. So I urge you to sign the postcard, sign the petition, which you can find online, and I think the email or the address is listed, but also individually. If you are inspired, and I hope to goodness you are inspired by being here tonight, you can write a letter to the editor of the Windsor Star. All of those letters that are in the Windsor Star change the conversation, and they get our voices heard, and our voices say we want this hospital. So spend an hour. Don't worry about whether your grammar is perfect or not. The point of it is you came, you wanted, be loud, don't be afraid of it, and just say it in the local newspaper. Those local newspaper clippings, and I'm looking at some of my friends from the province, they go to Toronto. There is a communications department in the Ministry of Health, and your voices get heard in Toronto. We do not have, as you know, a sitting MPP right now. And that doesn't necessarily help us. So we need to work a little harder to get our voices heard in the Conservative Party in Toronto. And we do have some connections, and we're making those connections, but all the help we can get from each of you individually, whether you take a sign, as Joe said, they're not our group, but they're another group, and they get the message across, you buy a wristband, you write the Windsor Star, you sign our petition, you sign the postcard, all of that matters. So that is our call to action. Other groups have come forward and asked us, what are we going to do after tonight? If you knew the time and effort that was put into this event, you wouldn't believe it. I mean, everybody ran around, Jeff, others, everybody ran around like eager beavers, the whole committee. So we're a little bit tired and we need a little bit of a break. And we're not sure about that. I mean, our goal was to get this off the ground, and we did it. We were successful at it, to get our message out, to hear from patients, real stories, to hear from staff at the hospital, which we heard. We accomplished our goal, and we're not sure where we're going to go from here. But on the back screen is Doug Ford's information. You all, most of you, not all of you, but many of you have cell phones. I urge you to stand in front and take a picture. Doug Ford, you'll see Minister Elliott, Minister of Health, and you'll also see, I think, Jeff, we put up the Windsor Star. The Windsor Star, if you want to stay there, the Windsor Star letter to the editor email address. Takes you 2 minutes to send an email. If each and every one of you this week finds the time to write one of those letters, I guarantee it will be heard. I don't like, and you shouldn't like, that Ottawa project jumped ahead of us. So we are damn well going to sit in a room in a few months from now and celebrate together that the Ministry of Health has moved our project to phase 2. That's what we're going to do. And we can only do that together. So it's coming, it's going to happen. We're going to all get in a room when that announcement comes, each and every one of you, and then we're going to break open a couple of bottles of wine to celebrate moving to a new and better hospital system, not only on County Road 42, but there will be redevelopment on Olette, and it will mean that the Prince Road site will get some investments as well. We're talking about a whole system and a planning effort that will take into account all ages, people who live through the whole county, I'm assured of it, and people who require mental health services. I've spent my career helping vulnerable people. So we won't forget those people, trust me. Nobody in this room wants to forget anybody. So this is healthcare for all, and together you can make a difference. So take your cell phones, get those cards signed. Don't leave here without signing a card. Get those email addresses, write your own letters, and hopefully we'll be back together in a few months to celebrate. Thank you.
Let's hear it for Ronna Warsh. He's been our inspiration and brought it together. I want to see if we can get our whole group up here. Group, let's picture. Janice, Windsor. The group is together. There we go. Thank you all from the bottom of our hearts. And let's keep this fight